If you are in the market for some new tires, you're going to want to check out True Tires here in Champaign, Urbana. Richard Rollins is hanging out with me here. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we've got some great tires here behind us, but I'm guessing not all tires are created equal.
This is very true.
So tell me about these behind us.
Okay, the tires that we have behind us are generally what we call a top-tier tire. They are the best tires in the market. That would be tires along the lines of Goodyear or Michelin or Bridgestone or somebody along like that. There's also what's called a second-tier tire. Those would be companies like Hankook. Those would be companies like Cooper, things along that line. There's also a third-tier tire, which would be things along the line of Mastercraft or possibly Avita or somebody along that line. Then we actually have Chinese imports.
Okay.
Commonly referred to by one of my managers as glorified lawnmower tires. And so it's one of those things that we sell, but we don't necessarily recommend to people.
Okay, but you do recommend these, but there are some things that we need to be looking at on the tires. So come talk to me about some of the lettering here on the tires.
On every tire manufactured, there are two things that the federal government requires. The Department of Transportation actually requires that the tires all have what's called a DOT number. The DOT number is this number that's right here on every tire manufactured. It tells us where the tire was manufactured, who the manufacturer was, what type of tire it is, what tire it is in the line, and the last thing is the most important part. It gives a number at the end of that, usually a 4-digit number, that tells us when the tire was manufactured. By telling us when the tire was manufactured, and we have to register all this information with the customer who actually bought the tire, they can find out if there's a recall or a warranty on the tire, a specific warranty or a recall on the tire. They can bring that tire back up and see, well, this tire was made at this time, so it's within the recall. The other thing that we can do is the last number tells us when it was manufactured. As a matter of fact, this one was manufactured in the 44th week of 2018. And that tells us when it was manufactured. Federal government says that we should not have tires on our cars that are over 7 years old.
Let's take a look at these tires back here behind us, because I'm guessing these are getting pretty close to that birthday.
Well, this tire right here is a tire that's completely worn out. If you'll notice, right down here, you can see where there's rubber that goes across each one of the different sections of the tire. Those are called federal wear bars. Federal wear bars are put in every single tire that's manufactured. They actually are 2/32 of an inch is where the tire comes in. Federal government says any tire that has 2/32 of an inch or less is federally illegal. You cannot have that on your car. They can actually ticket you for that tire.
That is alarming to hear that your tires can get you a ticket.
Yeah, you're not going to do it driving down the road because they can't see them, but if you're in a parking lot and you have somebody come by, they can physically ticket, they can actually ticket you for the tire. The other thing about it is if this tire is on a car and you're in an accident, even though you may not be at fault for the accident, you're driving a vehicle with an illegal tire on an unsafe product, they may be able to ticket you for that and may be able to be part of the cause of the accident. So you don't ever want to get to that stage. We start talking about tire replacement when the tires get down to between 3 and 4/32 of an inch of tread.
Okay, let's talk alignment really quickly, because that's also something very important that you need to maintain on your vehicle.
Yes, it is. Alignment is one of those things where people will come to us and say, hey, I've got a vibration at 60 miles an hour. I need an alignment. No.
What do they need?
Yeah, what they need is probably either a tire or a balance, or they have a bad component on their front end of their vehicle or their vehicle itself. The tires will not give you a vibration. Excuse me. The alignment will not give you a vibration.
But tires might.
But tires will and can.
So what is the difference between an alignment and balance? Because I always assumed those were the same thing.
Balance is how the tire is actually physically, centrifugally balanced. It takes out, think of a plate that wobbles. It takes out that wobble in the tire because it actually physically changes the weights that are on the wheel to make the tire spin within that balanced plane. An alignment depends on how your tires are aligned, either in, out, up, down, and actually something called caster, which is the forward or backward of the tire. It has to do with how you drive down the road, how your steering wheel returns, how your steering wheel is centered. So if your steering wheel is off-center, if you have a tendency to have a pull, or if it's leading to one side or the other, there's a good possibility that that could be alignment. Vibration is not alignment.
Not so. Okay, well, that's why we've got you as our expert here helping us out with all of our tires or alignment needs. Let's kind of remind everybody where you're located here in Champaign, Urbana.
We are located at 311 South Neal Street in Champaign, and we're also located at 608 North Cunningham Avenue in Urbana.
All right, multiple locations for all of your tire and alignment needs. Richard, thanks for having us out here.
You're more than welcome.
If you need more information, maybe you need some new tires or you need your car aligned, we'll get you all the details at CILiving.tv.